Welcome, I'm Cassandra, and this is your general reading. This is for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. And this is for 19. So, it's been a while. Long time no see, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Risings. I'm back, at least now temporarily. Okay. So, first set of cards we're going to jump into. I'm also using a newer set here for relationships because the great thing about this deck, it is, oh, let me grab it. This new deck is the Psychic Tarot for the Heart Oracle deck by John Holland. So the great thing about this deck is, whether you're in an actual romantic relationship or not, this deck speaks about all relationships in our life. The relationships with our family, our friends, our lovers, and most importantly, it speaks about the relationship we have with ourself. So I'm definitely loving this new deck, and at least it's not romance, fixated. So this is about all of our relationships. And so you'll know what fits you and what doesn't. And again, take what resonates from the entire reading and leave the rest. So, more on this in a little bit. Again, this is not a sponsored video or anything. I just figured I'd share the name of the deck with you guys so that in case any of you are interested in buying it, you now know what the name of the deck is. Okay, so for the first card, we have the Four of Cups. Sorry, got a little bit of a glare from the candle flame camera lens here. Okay, so it looks like some of you are feeling just pretty bored with the situation. Blah. Some of you be self-protecting a bit, feeling pretty leery, wondering if you should trust a situation or not. As we see that he is being offered a cup of wine here, but look at his body language. He's like, yeah, I don't know if I trust it, because he's been through some things. He's been through some challenges. He's been taken advantage of, and he just doesn't want to be hurt anymore. So trust is a bit of an issue. For some of you, you may be doing some self-reflecting, after some things that have gone on in your life. Maybe perhaps you've just kind of hit a stalemate. You just kind of tired of the way things have been going, and you're just really reflecting on, what can I do to move forward and just get out of this funk. So it's kind of like we're detaching and kind of going inward because we're focused on ourselves, our emotions, on the situations that we're going through. So, yeah. And it looks like some of you are definitely having some trust issues. And just taking a quick glance, I can understand why some of you be having trust issues. Okay, so the next card we have the King of Coins. So, big business here. This is not just a man of money, this is a man of wealth. Now, for you guys, this could be like an investment opportunity for some of you. For some of you, this could literally be a boss that you're dealing with. But no matter what, this is definitely a focus upon our finances, our financial well being. And, for some of you, this could be a focus on work. So, again, you'll know where this fits at for you. And for some of you, there could be some situation where you feel like you need to be leery and protect yourself and maybe not so trusting of a financial opportunity, a partnership. Maybe there's something going on at work for some of you, and maybe you're just feeling kind of bored, feeling like you're kind of in a rut. Some of you just be doing some self-reflection and feeling like, what, I want better, I deserve better. So I feel like it's definitely related to finances. You know, for some of you, you'll be self-employed. For some of you, you're working for big businesses, whatever it may be. But it definitely looks like there is some boredom and just blah, and maybe even a bit of distrust. And it could have something to do with a business partner or a boss. So then the next card we have the moon in the reverse position. So if you guys are wondering like if there is anything else that have not been revealed, maybe some of you are worried about deception on something financial or work related or even your personal life. Maybe you're wondering if there's some sort of deception. Well, when the moon is in reverse, this definitely lets us know that, all truth has come to the light. And what's done in the dark always makes its way to the light anyhow. So it looks like there's not any hardcore deception. And if there was, it's been revealed to you. Okay, so the next card, we have the Ace of Swords in the reverse position. So, wow. Now this card kind of contradicts a bit with the moon here. So, now this can go either way. But when we have the Ace of Swords in the reverse, first and foremost, when I see any ace in the reverse position, I know there is a blockage in regards to something new, a new way we're going, or whatever it may be. Anyhow, so with the Ace of Swords in the reverse position, perhaps maybe you might feel that somebody is trying to be forceful and take advantage of you. Maybe you feel that someone has been forceful with their words, because the tongue, when we see the Ace of Swords in reverse, the tongue is literally a weapon. So it's like, oh, you could give somebody a verbal lashing that'll be brutal. Now, maybe perhaps this could be you giving a lashing out, verbally, or maybe some of you might be on the receiving end. It's going to be different for everyone. Okay. But overall, when I see this card, it's like this is a very powerful card, whether it's upright or reverse. But when it's in the reverse, this is like, don't push. Okay. It's like we need to say what we need to say, but we need to say it in a assertive way rather than a pushy, bossy, hostile, argumentative type of way. Assertive would be the key word here, because we don't want to push too much or too hard on a situation, because this Ace of Swords can literally come back and cut us, so to speak. And for some of you, this isn't going to resonate with all of you, but for some of you, this card could be coming out to let you know that maybe you need to speak up about something. Maybe something's happened and you feel like you were taken advantage of. Maybe you feel like you were manipulated. Maybe you feel like you were deceived. And maybe you need to speak up and stand your ground. But if you do that, just make sure that you're being assertive, because we don't want to push too much. We don't want to come across too aggressive. So there's a big difference between aggressive and assertive, okay? Now, something else, when it comes to any type of legal binding type of contracts, do be careful. Read the fine print. If you don't understand it, find a lawyer or find somebody who can help you, but definitely read the fine print on any type of contract that is legally binding, okay? Because if you don't, it could turn out not so great in the end, okay? So, forewarned is forearmed. So just make sure to definitely read over any legally binding contracts before you sign them, okay? And, perhaps some of you might feel like you're being taken advantage of, maybe in the workplace. Maybe some of you feel like you've been deceived, taken advantage of, maybe manipulated, um, sabotaged, perhaps. And again, we can be on either side of this. Sometimes it can be us doing the sabotaging and whatnot and being super forceful, or we could be the recipient of that type of behavior and feeling like we're being taken advantage of within some sort of business partnership, work. This could be with a coworker, this could be with the boss, a business partner. This could even play out in a friendship or relationship, especially if money and finances are involved. Now, most of all, the Ace of Swords indicates that there is a delay because it is in the reverse position. So something that we're putting into motion or waiting to go into motion is delayed, okay? So sometimes we need to address something so that we can get that Ace of Swords back to the upright position and get things moving forward the way we want them to be. So, sometimes this could be mental confusion. It can be like a bit of fog, like what should I do? Maybe some of you creatively feel blocked, and some of you just be feeling taken advantage of. Maybe there's an issue where communication has not been clear between you and perhaps a coworker or a boss or a friend, a lover, a family member. Communication. So maybe there's been some miscommunications. Maybe you're not communicating fully. Maybe someone else is not fully communicating with you. And so it's definitely adding up to this energy of making us feel like we want to aggressively, attack the situation, verbally. But like I said, do choose assertive rather than aggressive because we'll have much better results if we handle things being assertive rather than aggressive. Because we don't want to push too much and then literally get cut by our own sword, so to speak. So speaking of delays, the next card is the Eight of Wands in the reverse position. So this is like we're going after something. This could be a goal, this could be a project, this could be, maybe we're trying to go for a promotion, maybe we're trying to get a new job, whatever it may be. This could even be about relationships, romantic relationships, but ultimately things are being delayed. In the upright position, we've got swift movement and action. When it's in the reverse, it's like the wands are falling away and they're moving very slowly. So it's like we've hit a delay. And a lot of times, anger can come up with this type of energy. It's like, why are things not going away? Why are things not working out? Just why? And it could just make you really angry. But my advice on this is to take a step back, okay, and look at things objectively because there's something small and minor that needs to be adjusted. Something needs to be adjusted, something needs to be fixed, something needs to be addressed. And once we do that, then we'll be able to bring that Eight of Wands to the upright position and begin having swift movement and action towards achieving our goal or our dream or whatever it is that you're pursuing. So it's definitely going to take you having to pull back and look at it objectively. So we want to use our logic and not our emotions. Our emotions can cloud the issues for us. And sometimes it can be hard to pull the emotion out of it, especially if some of you be feeling like you're being taken advantage of, say at work. Maybe you feel like somebody's sabotaging you or, taking advantage of you or, getting you to do the work of five people when you're just one. This is why we need to take a step back, look at things from an objective point of view, use our logic, weigh the pros and cons. We need to speak up, we need to be assertive, but not aggressive. And, we can get these wands moving in the right direction and forward moving momentum and things going in the right way. So in regards to love though, this could indicate that, an attraction could be fizzling out. Not that it's necessarily doomed, it's just, the time isn't right. Things are not coming together timeline wise. And so we're being delayed. But again, this delay can be one that is kind of infuriating. But the good thing here is you guys get the Fool. So you're getting a new start. So maybe some of you decide, hey, I'm going to stand up for myself. or I'm going to say what I need to say, or I'm going to, really get clear about the direction I need to go in, or I'm going to communicate clearly, or I'm going to ask someone to communicate clearly. However this manifests, it's beautiful. It's leading up to a new start. And this could be a new start in an existing situation, so it could be a new start within an existing, you know, job or business venture or relationship, whether romantic or platonic. And then for some of you, you're just going to completely break away and go your own way, so to speak. Now, we do need to be careful under this energy because this type of energy, we are filled with optimism and childlike joy, and we're just so happy for this new start. But we need to be careful that we do not make any foolish type of decisions. We do still need to try to think things through. We need to be careful about the things that we say and do to make sure that we do not offend others, if you care about other people. We just ultimately need to make sure that we're not making foolish decisions because this type of energy is very electrifying and exciting. And again, it's like childlike joy and optimism. So we're just so happy, that we're getting this new start. For some of you, this is like going in a completely new direction. For some of you, this is just indicating getting a new start within an existing situation. You'll know where this fits for you. Okay? But just be careful, that with all that joy that we don't make a foolish decision. But ultimately, this is great. So for the bottom of the deck, we have the Four of Wands in the reverse position. So maybe some of you have been waiting for something to happen, and maybe something happens, that is lesser than what we were expecting, but it's still a reason to celebrate and be happy and to be grateful and thankful for all that we have. This is a card, for those of you who have watched my videos in the past, this is a card where I definitely focus on, let's be grateful and thankful for everything that we do have, no matter how big or small the blessings are. We all have a blessings, and we need to be grateful and thankful. It's so easy to but not realize the things that we seem to take for granted, okay? Like, you have internet, you're watching this, hey, you're blessed. Because not everybody has access to internet, not everybody has a smartphone, a tablet, a computer, whatever. There are just so many blessings that we have that seem very small on the surface. But without them, then we're like, whoa, life altering. So just, be appreciative for what you do have. So, maybe you've been holding out for a bigger blessing, but you get one that's smaller. Just be grateful and thankful for everything that you do have. Have that attitude of gratitude, and things are going to work out for you because you're getting this new start, okay? And that's the most important part. For some of you, this could have something to do with the home life. For some of you, this could be about marriage, honeymoon. For some of you, this could be about children, perhaps leaving the nest, different things. But, ultimately getting together. And, we have Christmas coming up. Not everyone celebrates Christmas, but, coming together within the family home. So, yeah, just be grateful and thankful for what you have right now. Because when we're in that frame of mind and attitude of gratitude, we're going to bring more good things to us when we focus on the good rather than focusing on what we lack. We don't want to have that lack mentality. And you guys know that more than anybody. So yeah, it definitely looks like things are going to get better. You're going to get this new start. For some of you, this could be a promotion, but no matter what it is, whatever this new start is, it's definitely positive. So be on the lookout for that. Things are going to get better. I know they've been rough, and some of you have been in a rut and just, bored. Some of you feel like you've been taken advantage of. but things are going to get better and things are going to start moving your way. Okay? All right, so now we're going to move on to the next deck. Okay, so the first card is Dedicated Effort. I'm pretty sure this is the equivalent of Eight of Pentacles or coins, however you want to look at it. So, with the Eight Dedicated Effort, we very much have some very good skills and abilities that we can use to help improve our relationships of all kinds. You know, these can be relationships with our coworkers, our bosses, our family members, our romantic partners, friends, even the relationship with ourselves, okay? But with the dedicated effort, you may be called upon to mentor other people, and you will be very, very good at this. And because you have great skill and a great amount of understanding, and this will put you in the right place for being able to mentor other people. And, you know, you guys have learned a lot throughout your life experiences. And, you know, we need to focus on creating and also maintaining our relationships. You know, this is a card of definitely speaking that you have discipline and integrity when it comes to your relationships. You are definitely on the right side. You do want to work on communication skills, though, and this is definitely being indicated because of the Ace of Swords in reverse and with dedicated effort. There is a need to communicate clearly and, you know, maybe even learning some new communication skills would be beneficial under this type of energy. But this is definitely a card indicating that we need to learn more about the people that we're in relationships with, the people that we, you know, have to deal with. You know, and sometimes if you can better understand a person's personal beliefs, then the easier it becomes for you to comprehend what potential motives that they have or the motive behind their actions and their words. So I look at this as a blessing, but you definitely, there are some of you that do need to work on your communication. And there's nothing wrong with that, but, you know, maybe some of you may be feeling a bit like a doormat, you know, maybe at work, maybe in a relationship, and you don't want to be a doormat. You deserve so much better than that, you know, because you're a beautiful and magnificent soul, okay? And you don't need to be anybody's doormat. Don't accept less than what's best. You know what's good for you. Don't accept just getting by and just coping, you know. You deserve the best. But we have to communicate. And we're definitely being pushed towards we need clear communication here. And communication seems to be fogged. So we do need to find a way to communicate clearly. Now, some of you may not have a communication issue, but some of you may be learning a new communication issue. Excuse me, a new skill for communication. That's what I meant to say. Okay, so the next card is Shine. So this is the equivalent of the sun. So this is a beautiful card. Look at that beautiful energy coming out of her. Absolutely wonderful. So, this just drives home even more what I was just saying. You are a beautiful, magnificent soul. And I can almost guarantee that people are attracted to you, your soul, and your energy, your optimism, your determination. And I really feel that some of you are going to be in a role of mentoring other people if you're not already. Some of you are already well established in mentoring other people, but this is just backing up why you're in that role, because people are just attracted to you because you know how to communicate. and you know how to teach people the right way. Now, another aspect to this card is visualization, okay? The ability to visualize is very strong when we see this card, and you can use this visualization to help you to realize your own potential, because some of you may not realize your own potential and you really need to, okay? Maybe you need to harness the situation, maybe some of you are looking for a breakthrough within your relationships. But when I see this card, this is definitely an indicator that all of your relationships, including the one with yourself, can and will have a breakthrough. There is great potential within you. And I just hope you guys see that, okay? Like I said, you guys are beautiful, magnificent souls, okay? And I'm not joking. Very, very true. But you need to believe in yourself, and that belief in yourself, that helps attract more people to you that you mentor. And people are learning from you. But this all starts with the self and believing in the self and in your abilities and your skills and knowing that you're worth a lot, okay? And people need to realize that. And some of you feel like you're stuck in a situation where you feel like you're not being seen for what you really are. You're not being appreciated for all that you do, you know? But just rest assured that the universe sees and knows, and everything will be put right, you know? Just know that you need to be confident when it comes to dealing with other people. And, you can use your talents to help improve all of your relationships in your life. When you allow your light to shine, you become a source of empowerment, not only for yourself, but for other people. But you must see yourself as you really are. You must first see it so that you know. Shine on, you beautiful diamond. I'm serious. You guys are a force to be reckoned with. Yeah, that's the words I'm looking for. Be empowered. Harness the amazing energy that you have and the amazing energy that surrounds you. This is very, very positive. Now, you could use this energy to break through in some of your relationships that you need to, because our next card here is detach. So, kind of a bit contradictory, but at the same time, I can clearly see why this would come out, especially with the communication issues. So, detach, which would be the equivalent of the Justice card within the traditional Rider-Waite tarot. Okay, so with reflect, we need to detach emotionally. So we need to look at situations and relationships logically, okay? Sometimes we just need to take a step back and reevaluate things. But when we detach, this helps remove the ego out of the situation, which is very helpful. But we need to be evaluating and asking ourselves, am I contributing to the problem or am I the solution? So that's something that you will definitely have to ask yourself in order to gain the clarity that you need. And, sometimes even if all of your relationships are great, a little bit of detachment and reflection can help improve your already good existing relationships. But I feel that the detach is definitely coming more from this area here. For some of us, we just need to detach from our emotions because, especially if we've been taken advantage of or feeling like we're a doormat, then we need to detach from that emotionally because we don't want to be reactive from our emotions. We need to detach, look at things objectively, take the ego out of it, and the emotions out of it, and then we can find a solution a lot easier that way. We have to be willing to accept all of our own actions and decisions, and even our beliefs that have led up to this very moment, right here and right now. We're the ones that are in control of our lives, but sometimes we just need to assess our situation and situations we have with other people. And, if there's something that that you faltered on, just take responsibility. Don't beat yourself up about it. If there's something you can do to improve, do it. But don't beat yourself up about it. Just do it and keep it moving. Okay? Because you can't forget, you are beautiful, magnificent soul. And you're destined to shine. You're like a light beacon for everyone around you. You have so much, what's the word I'm looking for? Charisma. You like magnetize people towards you. Very Leo-esque. The sun and shine is ruled by Leo. Your belief in yourself and your confidence is just contagious. And let's be real, Capricorns, when it comes to work, you guys are like workhorses. And you are determined, and you know what you're doing. You know your value. You know your worth. Some of you don't know your worth, okay? This has become clear. Some of you need to see your full potential, and you will, okay? And don't worry, because you're going to be able to have others see your worth as well. We just must be assertive in the way in which we do it, okay? So the next card, which would be, it's the bottom of the deck. So this card is take the lead. So this is very much about taking the lead. I'm pretty sure this is the equivalent of Three of Wands. So this is an absolutely beautiful, wonderful, amazing card. So this definitely indicates that success and opportunities are surrounding you. And if they're not surrounding you in this moment, they will be presenting themselves very soon. And when it comes to matters of the heart, sometimes you just need to reignite that flame of passion. For those of you who feel like it may have fizzled out in certain relationships, reignite it, or if a relationship is no longer serving a purpose for you, then you know what to do. But ultimately, when you let passion take over, this is going to help lead you to achieving whatever wishes you have, whether they're relationship wishes or, financial wishes, personal wishes, whatever they may be. Take initiative, be confident, be bold, be ready to explore new possibilities because they are coming. There is a possibility, there is a new start coming, and you're going to need to take the lead, okay? So be ready because, things are about to be spiced up. Again, whether this is, a personal relationship, a romantic one, or, work, whatever it may be for you, things are about to go in the right direction. For some of you, maybe wanting a relationship, like say a romantic relationship, don't be afraid to step outside of your comfort zone. Maybe you have a certain way of being and behaving and doing when it comes to relationships and meeting new people. But maybe you need to step outside of your comfort zone, step outside of your box, and do something a little bit different because you'll be surprised. If we are meant to meet someone new, it's going to happen. But sometimes we wouldn't meet someone if we didn't step outside of our comfort zone or our box and go do something different. Maybe some of you have been on a dating website and that just hasn't worked out for you. Well, don't be afraid to go to a park or go to the movies or, whatever it may be, or go to a social gathering that maybe you wouldn't normally go to because you're stuck at the office or you're working or you're studying, whatever it may be. Don't be afraid to step outside of your comfort zone and do something different because that will help attract the person to you. Change can be good. So I know that there's some difficulties here, but hey, this is beautiful. You're definitely getting a new start, whether it's within an existing situation. Hence, maybe some of you might get a promotion, some of you might go your own way and, start something new. Maybe some of you might just go get a new job, whatever it may be. But be prepared to take the lead. Have your dedicated effort, shine. Remember to detach. Don't make your decisions emotionally. And then you're going to take the lead. And you're going to attract all the right people to you that you need because you're just magnetizing them towards you. Okay, I hope this reading helps. Please, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe, like, comment, share. If you can, it'd be great if you could throw a donation away, or even $1. Hey, that not required, but would be greatly appreciated. Please do realize that I am still doing personal readings, so you can always book a personal reading. You can contact me through the email address, which will be in the description box. And I would also like to say to everyone who does celebrate, Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas, and I hope that you guys have a wonderful holiday season, and hopefully I'll talk to you guys again soon. I'm sending you blessings of healing, prosperity, and love. Don't forget to shine on, you diamond.